Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Venise en Quebec. We are here today for JK's deal reveal with our special guest speaker and dancer, James
Hi
Martel.
everyone.
So,
You put me on the spot, right? Just like that, right?
he had no idea that was coming. So James, we've been here for the last 3 days now. We were sponsors for the MAR event, the Mastermind Apprentissage and Réseautage, so networking event hosted by our good friend and partner Ana Raquel Torres from the Centre d'Apprentissage Masters, and she was hosting a 3-day event, teaching people or introducing people to introducing to abroad investments. So Janie and I were representing the Midwest of the United States. There was another guest speaker for more the southern, Florida, but we had people from Costa Rica, Panama, Mexico, Republic Dominican. So every guest speaker had their little spotlight, their time to share their experience and the do's and don'ts. So if that's of any interest to you, we can definitely hook you up with Anna or any of the guest speakers so we can facilitate that transaction. So I just want to put that out there because it's always fun to know what we're up to and how it might just impact your lives favorably. So James, what are we talking about today?
I don't know.
Let's see. All right, so welcome to JK's deal reveal. Let's get James's face in here the whole way. Why not? We like to have fun here. So, for those of you who it's your very first deal reveal, well, welcome. Always a fun time. This is a very quick snippet to show you how quickly you can look at a deal and get a good sense of what's happening without being paralyzed with your analysis, right? We don't want paralysis analysis, but we are going to get excited because within 5 to 10 minutes, ideally 5, we know what's happening and we can be prepared to put in an offer, start the negotiation, and get right into investing. So we are not looking in Canada. We are looking in the US on these deals. And 95% of times, it's you sending us your deals. All right. So this is a deal that was sent in by Terrence. And today we're going to Georgia. We're going to go see this property asking $135,000. And we're going to see if this is a deal or no deal. So at any point in the deal reveal, feel free to chime in and say, is this something that is a go or a no-go for you? And let's get started here. So, as usual, we get started with our good friend up here, Google or Bing. I don't know why I still haven't changed my default here, but we put in the address of the property followed by Trulia. The point here is I just want to get a sense of what the crime level is right out the gate for this property. So yes, you have a picture. You get quick specs of the bedrooms, the bathrooms, the square footage. So it's a 4-2. It's looking halfway decent on the outside. It's looking okay. But really, the reason I'm going here is for the crime. Trulia has our heat map of crime, and the grayer it is, the better it is, right? The darker the blue, the worse it is. But don't worry about this one. This is just water. So if you see right here, we have our scale of crime. I like to zoom out to see how the larger area is, and it's looking like this is a very safe part of the country. So we're in Georgia, so crime test, we are definitely good. So it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. I would like to get a sense of if this is a single family or a duplex, because that's going to change how much rental income we can get from this property. So it's looking that this is a single family home. So we want to know 2 things when we're in the residential space. We want to know that we're buying at a discount. We want to buy and fix it up for less than the property's worth. First golden rule of real estate. And second, we want to make sure we're buying cash flow. Okay, so let's start with our first golden rule. I love going to total view, just slap in the address right in there and get a sense of what Zillow and this website, this software is estimating the property's value to be. So Zillow says it's about 214,000, and the total view says about 208, 209,000. It was last sold this year, 2 months ago, for 100,000. All right, so that's another data point that's interesting to consider. So if they're selling for 135, did they do any work to it? If yes, it's no. Like, what's the story behind that? But that's interesting that it was sold so recently, but it seems to be worth quite a bit more. So that's two opinions. And so if you wanted to get a little bit more specific, you could dive into Zillow, look at the map, see what the neighboring properties are to make sure that the comps they're pulling are really comparable. But just as a quick out of the gate, it's looking like this is worth a little over 200,000. Really quick and dirty. That's what's happening. So if we want to be buying this at a discount, we better be buying it and fixing it up for less than 200,000. And this is where you can say, well, I'm only going to buy properties at 20 with a 20% discount or 80 cents on the dollar. So let's say it's worth about 210. Well, if you want 80% of that, it means you have to buy it and renovate it for 168,000. So if they're asking 135 and you offer full price, well, you only have 33,000 left to fix it up, get it to a condition where it's perfectly rent ready, and get some tenants in there to satisfy the first rule of real estate: buy at a discount. So that's number one. Now we have no idea what type of work is needed on this property, right? There's no more pictures to go off of here. It's an off-market deal. So hopefully your gatekeeper gave you some indication, told you, sent you pictures to get a sense of, is this a turnkey, light, medium, large, or complete gut rehab job? So you can have some sense of if this is a $0 renovation project, 5,000 carpet and paint, or is it more of a 15, a 25, 50 or higher, right? So we want to quickly put it in one of those buckets to get a sense of what work is needed. I got nothing to go on here. And so we're going to have a conversation with the gatekeeper to get a sense of what is needed to make it rent ready if it's not already tenant. So that's number one, buy at a discount. Second is we want to make sure we're buying cash flow. So we need to get a sense of what this market can support in terms of rent. So again, you just put in the address. This is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home, and our good friend Rental Meter can spit out some numbers for us. I like to take a quick look at where it's pulling its comparables for rent. So the orange is our marker of where this property is located. Green is the lower end of the scale here, of the spectrum. Red is the higher, and the blues are right on average. So the closest one is a green, but they're actually quite far. These comparables are quite far, so we're going to take it with a grain of salt. But I'm going to say we're somewhere in the 1700s. I'm going to go in the average, medium range. Just a standard old property, nothing special, but nothing terrible. Just nice, perfect, rent-ready property, 1,700 a month. So 1,700 a month, we have 12 months in a year. So that's $20,000 of gross rental income in our year. And so the quick rule of thumb, slash it in two, multiply it by 50%. In 1 year, really quick and dirty here, $10,000 NOI, net operating income, which means $10,000 of cash flow if you bought this property cash. All right, if you bought it cash and you didn't have a mortgage, you'd expect $10,000 net to come back to you in cash flow. So if you have $10,000 coming in net, and you buy it for, it's 135, and the most we were willing to pay was 168. So let's say we bought it for 168. We were looking at a 6% cap rate. All right, we are at a 6 cap property here. So crime, basically no crime. Looks like there is possibility to buy at a discount here, and we have a 6% cap rate. That is really quick. We introduced James. We talked about what we did. We looked at a property following the 2 golden rules in under 8 minutes. Okay, that's how quick you can look and analyze deals. You are ready to jump into that conversation intelligently and put in an offer. If you're only investing at an 8 cap, this is not good enough. You're going to have to decrease the offer on that property to boost this up to a 10 cap property, an 8 cap property. So if you know that this is the net cash flow coming in a year and you only invest in 8 caps, you can divide by 8%. This is the most you can buy and renovate the property for. So you can do some reverse engineering on the numbers to find your offer price, your maximum allowable offer. All right. So tell me, based on what we talked about today, is this a deal or no deal? Let's hear it from you. Deal or no deal today? Sergio, not for me. Maybe Sergio would want to elaborate. Who else? Who else is listening? We have a ton of people on the call. Is this a deal or no deal for you? James is chiming in. No deal for James. Trina has an excellent question. It might have Airbnb potential because and she's asking if it's a landlord friendly state. So this is something that you would want to consider and look into as well. Airbnb, I'll remind you, you can go on airdna.co to get a sense of what the short-term rental incomes are in that area, right? It takes the past data and projects over the next 12 months, and that just might change your cash flow numbers. It might change your cap rate from a 6 to a 10 to a 12. However, remember the golden rules of real estate. Just because you can fit in a niche strategy, what happens if the rules change? If the government decides, or the local county decides, or the city decides that short-term rentals don't work anymore? You will be forced into a long-term tenant situation, and you'd be forced at a 6 cap. So we like to say, you are investing in a residential property. Buy a residential property following the golden rules. You can find those properties, look hard enough, build the relationships, do what you have to do, and then from there, from a strong basis, then convert it into a niche, strong cash flow investment. If you can do that, you're doubly, triply protected in your investments. Excellent. Vera says you need more info for the rehab. 100% you do. 100% you do. I just plugged in a basically $30,000 number to not expect something turnkey, but you definitely need. But if your cash flow requirement is above an 8 cap, well, you really don't need to see all that much renovation to jump in, and you know your numbers are not gonna work in that situation. All right, so basically that is it for our deal reveal today. Let me just quickly finish up through here. So in our opinion, a 6 cap, yes, we're in Georgia, we're in one of those more southern states, but we love our cash flow. And so we're gonna have to put in we're gonna have to put in some elbow grease into this one. We're really gonna have to work the deal, work the seller, really find out what they want and what they need, see if we can satisfy that and satisfy our needs in the process. Very unlikely that we're gonna get into this deal with a cash, we're gonna finish this deal with a cash purchase. We're gonna start with a cash offer, but build it into something more creative. That's that's probably what's gonna have to happen to make the numbers work on this one. Yeah, so there we have it. So I'd like to remind you that our upcoming blueprint is only going to be in October, all right? But if you heard about the Now for Tomorrow Club and that's of interest to you, just send us an email. Every month, we're going to have a new program for you with some new modules. It's going to be very exciting. And you see here, February, we're going to have a 7-module series on short-term rentals specifically. So if that's of interest, well, send us an email, ask us about it, because we have a ton of programs, ton of education coming your way. And I want to remind you again that JK's Guarantee program is in the works. And if you want to get on that wait list, it is the time now. There's already dozens of people who have already demonstrated interest in the program. And let me remind you what it is we are guaranteeing a return for you. So we are going to provide turnkey properties, which includes management by us. And basically, if we don't perform per the terms of the sale and the terms of that property's performance, you have the option to force us to buy the property back from you. So that's your guarantee, all right? JK's Guarantee program, we can buy it back from you within 3 years if you're not satisfied, and we'll manage it for you. So if that's of interest, send us an email as well, get on our wait list. And obviously, when the banks are giving you 1% or 2%, well, I think we can do a little bit better, surrounded with correct investments and awesome people. So that's it. If you would like your deal to be featured on JK's Deal Reveal, it's as simple as sending us an email or going to our website. Give us as little or as much information as you want. As you can see, if it's just an address and a purchase price, there's only so much we can do. But if there's a couple of pictures and a rehab amount, we can really dive into the specific number that satisfies our investment criteria. But that's all for today. So I hope you enjoyed, and inviting you to do now for tomorrow for that lifestyle you deserve. Take care, everyone.
Take care. Bye, everyone.
And if you haven't met this guy, you have to do it. Do.
Do it.
Du hast. Have a great evening, everyone.